Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to, or rather welcome back, depending on whether you've seen this before. I suppose it's either welcome to or welcome back to the Doomlink's Live Hunts series. We are once again in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and I do recognize that I'm currently facing in the wrong direction. Don't freak out, I am facing in the wrong direction for a reason, if you can believe it. Essentially, I was in a room with a different group that included Chaos Guard, and needless to say, myself. If I was in the room, then yes, I was part of a group. But that room closed, and so we have relocated here. Chaos Guard is saying it's hard to find people to help him. It's much harder to find people to help if you're low rank or high rank. Fortunately, he is Hunter rank 6, so I am willing to help him. I myself am not so willing to help low and high rank people. So there you go. The reason why I'm currently facing in this direction is because I have a very nice beer with me today. Today is a good day, because this is a beer that I have not had before, but one that I know I will intensely enjoy. It is called La Trappe Bock Beer. It is a beer that I have not seen in Australia, and it is the only Trappist brewed bock beer in existence. I've had a number of bock beers in my time, and I typically enjoy the flavour, but I've never had a Belgian one, and certainly not one brewed by Trappist monks. So this will be very interesting. It's a corked bottle. Haven't had a corked bottle on camera in a little while. It's 750 mils of greatness, no doubt, and I will be enjoying it here. How much of that is on camera? I'll try to do that on camera. Not because it's especially exciting to look at, but because if I'm doing it off camera, it makes you wish that you were seeing it, so yeah. It's got La Trappe written on the top, although I don't think I'm going to try and show you, but it's rather small. The cork has La Trappe printed on it. And of course, because it is a corked bottle, this could go one of two ways. Either the cork's going to be really fucking hard to get out, or it's going to be quite easy to get out. Every beer's different. Every corked bottle of alcohol is different. Let's see how this one turns out. Oh, it's very easy, fortunately. Very easy. That was... Sometimes you do need an actual cork opener. Or a corkscrew, whatever you want to say. I have my La Trappe glass. Probably harder to read it when it's empty, but yeah. I'm going to let this guy know that I'm going to wait 2 minutes, and then we will depart if no one comes. In the end, if someone does want to join while we're on a quest, then that will be just fine. Alrighty. My body and my spirit is ready. That should be rather more legible. La Trappe. Sorry, La Trappe. I don't know, I'm not French. Do I seem French to you? Because I'm not. This is extremely aromatic. I can smell it from here. And my god, it smells good. Wow. This was a good purchase. Wow. 7% ABV. Good percentage. Easy drinking. Phenomenal. Really, really nice. it's almost difficult to say this, but it reminds me of La Trappe Col du Père. Obviously it's different flavor, but there's something there that reminds me of it. And it's so good. What a beer, and it's nostalgic in flavor as well, because I don't get to drink these very often anymore. But I found a new place to buy beer. It's not going to be the only place where I buy beer because it's kind of far away. I'll only be getting beer there on occasion. But it was there that I found this bottle. And when I saw it on the fucking shelf, I basically... Well, I didn't actually do it. I was on the edge of both bursting into tears and dumping arse. Because I was like, what is that? I'm buying that. And, yeah. This Chaos Guard fellow has been terribly patient, so I had best depart on the quest with him by readying up to signal my willingness to go and do this two-man. The quest is going to be two great jaggy, fortunately. Not two small jaggy monsters, but two great jaggy and two Volvidon. Sweltering showdown. I feel like I did this somewhat recently. But yeah, what's my rating on a scale of 1 to 10 for this beer? A 10. A 10. It's very good. It's a comfortable 10. I'm not going to sit here and agonize over it. It is a 10 out of 10 beer. It's very good. Just so... It is both understated, yet simultaneously full of flavor. I suppose what it is that it's just... It has an effortless perfection to it. I don't really know how else to put it across to you. It's not trying to be amazing, it's just amazing on its own. That's what it is. It's just really good. Maybe hard to understand how that would make any sense in the context of a beer, but you know, all beer is brewed, and in a way, there's a personality to that. It's someone's careful work. And these guys have done a very good job with this beer for sure. Oh god, what a good purchase. I do have, I believe, Saint Bernardus Prior 8. So, that's going to be very nice to eat. Eat. I will be drinking that beer, not eating it. I would recommend against eating beer. I suppose you'd be having bread at that point if you were eating it. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy that. And I don't think I'll be having it today. I think this beer here will suffice for this recording. But I will save that for perhaps my next recording. It's only a 330ml bottle, but I haven't had Saint Bernardus on camera in a long time. It was ABT 12 that I would have had last time, which is, I think, essentially the same recipe as Westvleteren 12. But still, obviously, it's a less rare version of Westvleteren. And yeah, it's been at least 2 years since I've had Saint Bernardus on camera, so I'll look forward to that. Oh my goodness. Today is a good day. I do hope that we are able to get a few more people into this room. I am tempted to ask if Yurli wants to play. I don't know if Yurli is awake or not. You will recall that Yurli was around in part 184. Thank you for that arc shot. He apologized for that, even though, quite frankly, there was no need to apologize. The monster was limping away and I probably wasn't going to be able to keep up. Although I suppose I wasn't given the chance to try and keep up. Thank you for that. I just got run over. But anyway. Yurli may or may not be awake. If it seems as if we're going to struggle to get people into this room, then I will ask him if he wants to play. Just because I don't expect him to be around. Usually he's not someone who's on demand, I've found. If he's able to play, it's an exception to the rule, not a typical thing. It's not what one would expect. You had some Swedish whiskey on Tuesday, 7 out of 10 you would rate it. Don't know if I've had Swedish whiskey before. I do wonder what that would be like. It's got a really nice head, this beer. It's got a real creamy look to it. It's not something that would really come out on camera because obviously, given its color, the light shines on it, or shines off it. I was trying to fucking sharpen, but these Delex decided to make that damn near impossible. You are the most insufferable fucking creatures in the world. I mean, can you actually believe that they prevented me from sharpening that persistently? It's hard to imagine, really. I mean, the irony of it. You're always struggling to catch up with them and throw sonic bombs at them and trying to kill them, but of course, that time it was rather different. They just wouldn't fucking leave me alone. You know, life would be complete if I could have a beer like this every day. Life would be complete. I suppose it would lose its novelty and it wouldn't be quite so special anymore, but still, like, I would truly enjoy it. There was a time when I was drinking nice beers like these most days, but I have too many expenses to be buying those quite so often. I did roll that, although it didn't appear as if I had done. This is a pretty big Jaggy, actually. I feel like the last time we did this quest, there was a big Jaggy as well. I think it was the second one that time. But this one's definitely baggy size. A great Jaggy that's baggy size is a big Jaggy, and a baggy that's Jaggy size is a small baggy. Which was, I'm sure, intensely informative, and I have no doubt that you're all very thankful for the fact that I just outlined that information to you. Chaos Guard is... I don't know if he's expecting the next Great Jaggy to spawn here. I do remember that that's how it was in Tri. I remember the Great Jaggy spawning out of this hole in Tri. I remember it for the Jaggy helmet that gave... like the actual Jaggy head, which gave great luck, I think. Or maybe it was good luck. I think it was probably only 10 points of luck. That's how I remember it. And that was an event quest actually in Tri. And I do distinctly remember the Jaggy spawning out of this hole. He has made an appearance through the hole, although I'm not too sure if my camera was facing it at the time. It may very well have been. Oh. Well, come to think of it, I do have to send a Discord invite to someone who asked me in DMs. I also have to respond to an invitation from Baines, a fellow Monster Hunter live streamer, to hunt with him at some point. I will do that. It's a little hard to coordinate that because, quite frankly, we're in very different time zones. I don't know what his schedule is like. I don't know if he has a really bad sleep schedule, because in order to play with me comfortably, one needs a pretty awful sleep schedule. If they live in Europe, and he does, presumably, because he does have some kind of European accent. I don't know where he's from. But, seriously, we will need a little bit of work to get that to happen. But yes, as long as I remember to do both of those things today, all will be well. I did take note of the fact that part 184 of this livestream series was very effectively picked up by the YouTube algorithm. It's the first time in a while that one of my recordings has been picked up by the algorithm. You can never control which one it's going to be. I'm not entirely certain if I'm happy with that being the one that was picked up or not, but it was, and I suppose one can never be quite perfectly satisfied. Are you kidding me? I missed most of those attacks. One can never be quite perfectly satisfied with the one that gets picked up, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. I'll take what I'm given by the YouTube overlords. So yeah. More of that would be nice. Usually it's not consistent. It'll happen once and then you might be lucky enough to pick up a new audience that will watch you consistently, but oftentimes they only last for a short time. It's not something that you get too excited about. It's pleasant when it happens, but you don't build up expectations. You just let it happen and then it'll go back to normal again eventually. And that's how I've found it. Usually works. Ow. Hello Beta, haven't seen you in a while. I was attempting to demon dance, but I was being really ineffective in my use of it. I do very much love these dual blades. I don't use them often enough, but I don't want to use them too frequently. As to how they compare to the Brachydios dual blades, they may actually be slightly worse. I'm not too sure, because you can see the slime value is pretty small. I suppose that raw value in conjunction with the high purple sharpness with sharpness +1 makes these pretty good damaging dual blades, but or pretty high damaging dual blades, which only receive even more damage by way of slime. So they should really be considered more like raw dual blades that when used in conjunction with Awaken just end up dealing even better damage. I'm not too sure which ends up being better, this or the Brachydios dual blades, but I have a distinct feeling that doubling down on slime application just ends up being better because slime is so ridiculously overpowered in this game. It is a lot of purple. Perhaps less than it looks because these are dual blades. But still, it works pretty well. Okay, got an Imperial Frill, Bird Wyvern Gem. Very good. I didn't check to see how many points I got there. I always expect to see the points on the last screen or something, but it's more like the second out of perhaps 4. So I always go past it. We managed to get Kendrick joining the room just as we came in from the completion of the hunt, which was very nice. I was about to lament the fact that we didn't get a person during that hunt. But fortunately, we do have someone. He is Hunter rank... I can't quite see it from here. I'll figure it out. Basically, you can actually check on the gamepad, but it's too far away for me to be able to see. I swear I saw him run up here. He's definitely been running around, but he's shy. He's made his way into the prep area. And he's back. Let me... Okay. We are using the same dual blades, and he's got a very interesting loadout there. Is it a good loadout? No, not especially. It's interesting. It's not terrible. But it's not that great either. I suppose its real benefit is in the fact that it's interesting to look at, and that's about it. I don't think it's that functionally good. Especially the fact that he hasn't committed to the plus 15 skill point level of Challenger and Adrenaline. We've got a pink Raytheon on the board now, which is fine, I can live with that. Alright, good night, A-Gaming. Enjoy your fucking eating contest. Just before I began this recording, A-Gaming informed me that tomorrow, at least presumably tomorrow, he will be eating 10 spicy chicken sandwiches and drinking 10 beers. And he's like, beer's water for me. It's not about that. You know, it sits heavily in the stomach. And then you've got the fucking spicy chicken sandwiches as well. I mean, quite frankly, that's gag-inducing just to think about. Ugh. I will use a greatsword. I think that would make this a little more fun. We'll bring the Arteos Evolution. Whenever I use this, I feel slightly I don't know, disappointed by the fact that I can't make use of the sharpness +1 skill of my greatsword set, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to... Unfortunately, I don't have enough armor set slots for me to be able to create a set that doesn't have sharpness +1, just specifically for use with swords like these. If I had more armor set slots, I would happily do that. I like doing that sort of thing. I like to have armor sets that are tailored to specific weapons. But your ability to actually do that sort of thing is heavily curtailed by the number of slots that you have available, and also that in conjunction with just how many varieties of gameplay you want to experience with armor sets in whatever game you're playing. For me, I have an armor set for basically every weapon type, and in the case of some weapon types, I do have multiple sets. Like for Greatsword, I have 3. For Gun Lance and Lance, I have 2. That guy started sliding away. It is Pink Raytheon, so she will probably start over here. But yeah, I have multiple sets for certain weapon types, and for good reason. But it just means that, you know, I'm not going to be able to create a 4th or a 5th Greatsword set for that reason. Finally, Pink Rat? Okay. If you say so. If you say so. Whoa, speaking of Pink Rat. Oh, Ibpimin has joined. I remember him. Ibpimin. He's the guy that I spoke on the voice chat with. Remember this guy? You remember this guy? I remember his crazy fucking name. It's a weird name. I'm not going to voice chat with him again. He may or may not remember me. But this is the guy that I did a random voice chat with on the gamepad while live one time. I wouldn't have actually remembered it, except that one of my viewers, I'm sorry that I can't remember it right now. I would happily refer to you by name, but I don't remember it right now. But one of my viewers who watches on YouTube, he commented on that video recently after having watched it. So, yeah. That essentially prompted me to watch it back again, and because that was somewhat recently, you know, within the last 3 weeks, I suppose, I am able to remember that name. Otherwise, I stress I would not have remembered that. But yeah, I'm not really in the mood to get the gamepad out and have a chat with that guy. It's something I'm willing to do every now and again, but I don't want to make it a regular thing, you see. It's not as comfortable and, quite frankly, not as enjoyable for me. I understand it may be rather entertaining for you, but it's awkward because I have to hold the gamepad somewhere that you can hear it, which means that I'm literally awkwardly holding the gamepad with one hand and then doing everything else with the other hand. And yeah, it's not as fun. Oh, I think I managed to get that on the face. If not, then the wing is fine, but yeah, I would have been a lot more frustrated if I somehow failed to get the damage off at all. Bloody wind pressure. Solid team, though. Chaos Guard is in luck. I'm happy to treat this as a room for him to just do whatever he needs to get done. It is his room anyway, so that is actually his prerogative. If he wishes to make that the room objective, then he may do so. But it may not necessarily sit with the other players. They might not like that. And to be honest, as much as I would like to do Savage Devil Joe, we can't really do it with this Chaos Guard fellow anyway, because Savage Devil Joe is an HR8 monster. I could technically get Game Changer and find the right quest to get him to invade, but it's not worth it. Like, that's a lot of effort to go to. I will just wait until I have an appropriate team with which to hunt that monster. Oh dear. Unfortunately, it's very easy to get hit by that. When Rathian just slams herself down on the ground. Even if it looks like you'll be out of range, you will get hit. On that occasion I was clearly within range, but you'd be surprised just how wide that hitbox is when she slams down. Can I get a level 2 off? No, I should have settled for a level 1. That's why I remarked upon it. I felt like it was a bit risky to go for it, but I went for it anyway. I felt a little bit better about it because I'd obviously registered my concern that it might not work. Can you not throw me off, please? I suppose what it means, Beta, is that if you're going to hunt with 4 people, you should choose more difficult quests. Quests that do take a little bit more time. You're right in that when you have a 4-man team, it can actually be a little bit too fast sometimes. I still get enjoyment out of it though. It's the sensation of beating down a monster. I mean, if you know that the monster is level appropriate, it's okay. At least in my mind. I don't really like beating down monsters that are a lower level than me though. Are you seriously leaving? What's going on? Whatever. There is the temptation to run around with the eggs, but I don't think I'll bother with that. Is she going to 5 or 7? 5. Very well. I hear that it helps to sheathe your weapon, Kendrick. Wonder if I can get in position for a head charge. I think she'll be facing this way. Yes. Head charge. Level 2 will suffice. I think that was the sweet spot of the greatsword. Hopefully. If this was 2nd or 1st gen, that tail would have hit me, by the way. Without a doubt. Let that be a clear demonstration as to why it is very helpful to have the ability to resist a roar when using a greatsword. It really should be well understood. I don't understand why I still see people equipping greatswords without the ability to resist roars. It's just such a shame to not have that opportunity presented to you to get a charge off. It's such an opportunity-based weapon type that you do need that ability to attack during that roar, because the monster is standing still for a while. Definitely had to dive that one. Oh, we've got an exhausted Rathian. I think that was 2 exhaustion animations sequentially, which is pretty good. Come on, let's get her. Very good. Nicely done. Goose Hunt, very nice. It's because it's an unfamiliar keyboard, okay? And I was also reaching around my glass and my phone and my everything. I don't think I'll carve Pink Rathian. I'm so impressed with this beer. So tasty. Is it the best bock beer I've had? Probably. Probably. The place that I went to actually had Echt Schlenkerler Urbock, which was a beer that is seasonal, but I don't know if it was from last year or if it's just come in season now and they've already imported it from Germany. I'm not too sure, but I'd like to get my hands on that as well. That is a beer that I love, but I need to get a glass for. Echt schleckler. You're a fucking idiot. Why would you take that? For goodness sake. Anyway. I just need to make sure that I sell it when I get back. You roll rolls without evasion stuff. It's totally unrealistic. This is the thing, you're not going to be rolling through rolls with a greatsword because it's a weapon type where you are constantly stuck in an animation. I.e. charging your greatsword. So, I mean, good of you to be devil's advocate, but no. Sorry, that doesn't wash. Feel free to speak for yourself, but yeah. Rolling through rolls without evasion skills is not... It's not really standard. If you can do that reliably, then sure, but I can't. Kurapeko encourages me to use something simple. Something that's not necessarily all that damaging. What's a weapon that's not very damaging but is fun to use? High Chief's Greatsword. What's this again? It's like a sleep greatsword, isn't it? Something like that. Let's find out. Yeah, sleep. Check that out. Here's my sleep greatsword, guys. Is it even fully upgraded? Can't be. No, it's not. What do I need? No, it's fully upgraded, everyone. That is a fully upgraded fucking greatsword. For God's sake. Why would I bother with this thing? Is that my sleep greatsword? Are we being for real right now? That is not good enough. Maybe I'll use the Lordly Death Cap or something. Or Chrome Quietus. Yeah, this looks like fun. I'm not going to use the Lordly Death Cap. Forget that thing. This is a great sword. Check that out. Oof. Honestly, I would say that's fairly effective. The poison is high enough for you to... Like, I wouldn't be going combo greatsword with this thing. Oh, Ibpimin. I forgot to remind him that we were indeed back from the quest, but he was here. And he was able to see it for himself. No, I realize it. Well, I suppose, yeah, you weren't necessarily defending them or anything, but... I think that it's obviously not going to be happening where they're going to be rolling through roars if they're using a greatsword. That's all I wanted to say on that point. What's this loadout? Dragon attack down is not really a bad negative skill, so if you just look at the skills that he's got, pretty good. Don't know about recoil down +2 and reload speed +2 with the diamond crest. This light bow gun really is not in need of that sort of assistance. This is definitely focused on high damage bow guns. Bow guns with high recoil and slow reload. That obviously as a matter of balance have high recoil. Excuse me, as a matter of balance have high damage. So... yeah, I wouldn't say that's a great choice for that bowgun, but it's fine. I couldn't believe that that sleep greatsword was fully upgraded. How pathetic was that? That would be an example of a weapon that they just didn't touch since Tri. There are certain weapons from Tri that they didn't allow you to upgrade further. How lazy is that? That really is one of the things that I find totally unconscionable about this game. It's the fact that there are Tri weapons that would be great to use in G rank that you just can't because you can't upgrade them. The event weapons from Tri really are the ones that suffer the most in this regard. I don't think I'm even going to be able to poison this monster before it dies. Or perhaps I will, because again it's 750 poison. It is poisoned. This is going to be a bit of a beatdown. I almost feel sorry for you, but it is inevitable. You are a standard Kurapeko. That's lovely. I was inside of a rock there for a minute, or whatever that happens to be. More like a tree trunk. It's hard to tell when that's all you can see. Let's fight Joe. I typoed it, but whatever. I'd like to fight Devil Joe, honestly. I mean, are we just going to completely beat down this fucking Kurapeko? It could very well be that the bowgunners did not bring enough ammunition to fight Devil Joe, in which case I recognise why they perhaps wouldn't be willing to, but it seems that 2 of them at least are willing. So, hopefully they've got the ammunition. If they don't, then we'll just go and fight the Kurapeko. It is what it is. But a bowgunner must always bring enough ammunition, because you never know what the quest will entail. This is a big Devil Joe, by the way. A really big one. I think he might be a Gold Crown large, just looking at him. Why am I bouncing? I have white sharpness. Could we please not be bouncing? If I get a sense for the fact that the team maybe is not cut out for this hunt... Oh my god, I might not be cut out for this hunt. Why am I bouncing? At least he's poisoned, but shit. Oh, I'm getting flinched by my teammates now, which is great. It seems that Chaos Guard is not so willing to hunt Devil Joe after all. He is continuing to shoot the Kurapeko. That's not good. And Chaos Guard is now attacking the Devil Joe again, which is nice. Well, I'd love to knock you down. I'm not too sure how quickly we're going to be able to kill this guy. Not quickly enough, my guess is. Ooh, oh, okay. Well, thanks, Kurapeko. Well, a brief intermission, I suppose. Couldn't even do a wake-up hit on the Devil Joe because we're also sleeping. I'm not too sure if it's worth it or not, but I do feel that it would be a little too easy to just beat down on a Kurapeko. Let's introduce some kind of challenge into this experience. Damn it. I have to shield it, unfortunately. At least I've got a lot of wide sharpness with this greatsword, but seriously. Not quite on target there. I pressed the button to fucking roll! And it should have been within the acceptable window within which I can do that. Oh, can I make it? No. I raised my shield. I don't think I've got fucking nullberries either, because I was having the same problem in part 184 when I was fighting Savage Deviljho. I for some reason neglected to add nullberries to my inventory, and I distinctly recall not having fucking done that after that hunt, so unsurprisingly I'm now using a fucking shitty raw greatsword to fight this Deviljho. God! I hope the team's doing better than I am, because I'm not doing well. And I raised my fucking sword to shield that bloody attack and it still hit me. I don't know if that... I don't actually know what happened, but I'm getting a bit annoyed. I actually deserve to take that hit because I was facing in the totally wrong direction, but apparently it was still good enough. So that was good enough, but apparently last time, no, didn't register. Fuck's sake. Can you stop that? Absolute asshole. At least I'm not dragon blinded anymore. And it shouldn't happen again anyway. And he's poisoned again. I did notice that someone was shooting poison shots at him. Definitely helps me out. Actually managed to iframe that tremor, which is good. It can be a little hard to do that sometimes, but managed it that time. I think because it lasts a little longer than perhaps some instantaneously impacting attack. Kurapeko is, I think, flying down into this area now. Fuck off. Like, what are you doing? Go away. You should be running to safety, not attacking us. I suppose one could say that about every small monster in every fucking Monster Hunter game in the series, but still. Except for Popo and Aptonoth, I suppose. What are you up to? I'm worried that someone's going to kill the fucking Kurapeko. It would seem that we're doing a good job against this Deviljho, but I'm not too sure if we are. If we are, then it's less to do with me and more to do with everyone else. I don't believe I've been contributing especially well. I will obviously sharpen up. Speaking of cheap shots, getting attacked from the side by that Kurapeko was not pleasant. Oh dear. Managed to get the face there. I can't get over how big this Deviljho is. Obviously it's not World Eater size, but you can still notice the difference between a regular sized Deviljho and a particularly large one, and this is the latter. Most certainly. Look how creepy he is. Just seeing him standing in partial darkness, looking around with his mouth open, I mean, what a creepy monster. What are you doing? Is this fucking first gen? If you actually wanted to know what a first gen Deviljho experience would be like, that is what it would be like. Hoping for a knockdown. Well, I didn't actually contribute to that. I just ended up getting crappy damage on the legs for nothing. That was a flinch, but not a knockdown. That's going to hit me, because I made the wrong decision in rolling there. If we were a little more optimized, this would be good, but I think this is beneficial for Chaos Guard anyway. Here we go again. It is entertaining, I won't deny it. What I don't get is why Kurapeko doesn't take advantage of this in some way. He doesn't run in and start beating us up, he just keeps on playing his music. It's weird. What's the point of it? Prolongs the fight, I guess. Maybe it just gives him the opportunity to buff himself up. I'm tempted to just go and capture him. I'd like to do that, honestly. Just to speed things up, you know. Oh god. Misjudged the position of the legs there. But yeah, just speeds things up a little bit, and I suppose the main reason why I went for the capture there without consulting with the team is because I would just rather not carve and instead control the flow of items into my box through the item screen, because that, or rather the reward screen, because that is where I can see how much of each material I already have. I don't want to have to sell it later on. Which is what I would have to do if I were carving. Yeah, I suppose the hunts where we weren't necessarily geared up for it, those are the hunts that are a little more exciting. And I was not using a totally inappropriate element or anything like that. So it made it enjoyable for me. I wouldn't be recommending something like that if I were using, I don't know, an ice weapon, which I could have easily been using against this monster, because ice is the primary weakness of Kurapeko. But I certainly wouldn't be willing to use that against Deviljay. I'm trying to start a charge attack, but I keep getting flinched. Apparently you are exhausted, which gives me a good opportunity to finally get my charge attack out. I'm not sure where Kurapeko eats. I suppose we'll find out. Maybe in this area. Eat the Rhinopolis, please. Kurapeko has sharp teeth, so he can't be a herbivore. I don't want to say herbivorous, it's the worst. It's like the worst word ever. I hate that word. I suppose you don't necessarily have to be carnivorous to have sharp teeth. Maybe, no, I think Kurapeko eats fish, right? Maybe the sharp teeth are for fish. Doesn't matter. I'm not especially interested in the subject. You're doing a very good job of hitting me, I'll tell you what. Rapid fire normally is ill-advised in almost all circumstances, but if that's what he's got, then so be it. Fucking decapitate this Kurapeko. The neck is just so thin that when I see a big sword coming down on that scrawny neck, I just imagine that it's gonna cut it in pieces, or cleave it in twain. But, anyway. I'm probably not going... No, I will actually carve you. I will be sure to discard the monster slog bone. I definitely don't need those, but... The regular Kurapeko materials I'm sure I have space for. I don't hunt Kurapeko all that often. I have been facing the wrong way this whole fucking time. That is enough to drive me so fucking insane. No one said a word. Yep, Doomlink's just staring into nothing. He's not looking towards the game, nothing like that. I was facing the wrong way this whole fucking time, and that pisses me off so much. I'm so fucking infuriated by that I'm not going to actually unleash the frustration inside me, because you guys are going to be like, whoa, what's his problem? Because I'm telling you, that shit is beyond a pet peeve. That's downright fucking substandard and retarded, and has almost single-handedly ruined this recording for me. 3 Devil Joe crooks is probably not 3. 2 gems and a crook, but still, like, that doesn't fucking placate me. It doesn't even begin to do so. That shit is just a fucking disappointment. That was just a disappointment. How fucking pathetic. It looks ridiculous if I'm facing in the wrong direction, you know? It was fine at the start, when I was demonstrating the beer. But to be looking in the wrong direction for the whole fucking hunt, what a joke. I just forgot about it. I was distracted by whatever was going on in the game, obviously, but anyway. What a nightmare. What a fucking nightmare, seriously. Just have to try and let the beer soothe my woes. We're doing all of the basic hunts at the moment, as you can tell. What am I doing? Sword and shield would be fun. The mobility of sword and shield would make this enjoyable. We'll go fire. The Manifestation. As a weapon I do generally prefer, well, I guess I should say stats-wise, I do prefer the Golden Rathian Sword and Shield. Golden Rathian Sword and Shield. But I have no real desire to use that when I can instead use this weapon, which is exclusive to this game. So this is the one that I will use. God, I'm so fucking frustrated about that camera situation. It's just ridiculous. Whatever. I appreciate that, Beta. Anyway. Seems that everyone is willing to do this quest, but Chaos Guard does let us know that he's happy for us to post quests if we need any quests. Which we may, and I certainly do, but again, as I said before, we wouldn't actually be able to do my quest. Because Chaos Guard cannot join him. I'm not sure if Chaos Guard is doing his key quests or what. But I wouldn't imagine that it would be worthwhile sitting here trying to get him to Hunter Rank 8 just so that he could do my quest. I think that would take quite some time. You think it doesn't take long to take a person from Hunter Rank 6 to Hunter Rank 8, but it does. It actually does take a while, so I don't think that will be happening. It wouldn't be worth it at the very least, I'll put it in those terms. I am being soothed by the beer, actually. Chaos Guard has informed us that he is doing key quests. I do hope everything else is fine with the recording, fucking hell. It did have a rough start. I literally had the first 5 minutes of the recording streaming to the wrong fucking channel, which was great. Awesome. Just what I like. Baroth. Well, I guess we can go this way. I wasn't really thinking of what we were hunting. The colours of Abyssal Lagi and Moralis together are very bright. It's like a neon glow. But I like it. Thank you. This guy's fucking normal shots are flinching me about as frequently as Pellet would. Which means that he just needs to stop. Just forget the rapid fire normal, because you're being inaccurate with a shot type that requires good accuracy. And now you're just hurting yourself. So, seriously, man. I'm not a fan of your style of play at all. But yes, the mobility of Sword and Shield does make the Baroth hunt more enjoyable. I don't enjoy Baroth quite so much when I'm using something like a gun lance, or even a lance, quite frankly. Which I think I was using a gun lance last time I fought him. Maybe part 183 or something like that. Of course, this Sword and Shield is brilliant against monsters that are particularly weak to fire. It has solid purple sharpness with high elemental damage. Very good for elemental weak points. It's not just the coloration of the Moralis weapons that are interesting, it's the designs of them. And I don't even mean the fact that they glow and the fact that they look like lava. I mean the actual shape of the weapons are pretty interesting, like the Fist Illusion, the dual blades, they're really nice. And the hunting horn is just extreme. I'll never forget when I first saw that hunting horn while playing online. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I mean, I should have known that it was a hunting horn, but it was just so over the top that I just didn't know what I was looking at. I was like, what is that weapon? Obviously, I figured out very quickly that it was a hunting horn. It doesn't take long to figure something like that out, but upon first blush, I just didn't know what I was looking at. Very cool hunting horn. Definitely one of the most eye-catching hunting horn designs in the series. This guy fucking loves shooting me, I'll tell you what. He's not even shooting within critical distance. Look at that. He has no concept of critical distance, this guy. Very awkwardly defending against this Baroth with one hand while I take a drink. May as well carve. I wish I could carve every time. I've explained this before, I enjoy carving monsters. But I also enjoy not having to fucking sell my items every time. Manually. I entirely agree with you, bread users. This attack right here, it works. It's better. That little slide forward attack that you do in 4th gen, I became so disillusioned with Sword and Shield because of that. I barely used it in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I was so disappointed. Yes, they added some dynamics to the Sword and Shield with that charge attack, where you jump back and charge your sword and jump back in. That's nice. But quite frankly, that shouldn't exist at the expense of the jump forward animation of the X plus A. It's inappropriate. Watch your character's legs in 4th gen when they do that attack. It's ridiculous. These little tiny steps that move 1,000,000 miles an hour. It just looks comical. It's not like you're looking at the legs when it happens, you're just sliding forwards, but it's dumb, it doesn't feel right. And it also feels like you're lacking a little bit of that verticality of the weapon as well. I just don't like how it feels. It may not be functionally worse, but it just doesn't feel quite right. And it was something that I took exception to from the moment that I saw it. I was so disappointed, I was bitterly disappointed about that change. Rust Duramboros. So yeah, I tend to do a lot of Sword and Shield in the first 3 generations of Monster Hunter because I can enjoy it again properly. That doesn't mean that I entirely boycott the Sword and Shield these days in 4th gen, but I'm still not impressed with the way they changed that. I don't know what I would use to make this fun. I really don't feel like fighting a Duramboros at all. I suppose I'll use a lance. What's a fun lance for me to use? Or Awakened Gun Lance or Lance, one of the two. I'd prefer an Awakened Lance of some kind though. Something weird, you know. Maybe this. Does this require Awaken? It does. Okay, we'll use this. Unfortunately, Sharpness +1 is not necessary, but again, this is one of the reasons why I really don't like these sorts of weapons that already have maxed out sharpness. I'm sure that they are great in the minds of some people, but for me, because I usually use Sharpness +1, they piss me off because it feels like I'm wasting a skill, and again, as I explained before, I'm not going to make a special set that doesn't have Sharpness +1 just because some of these weapons have maxed out sharpness. Apparently Ippimin wants some Pierce level 3. It's kind of strange to see him asking people to bring him Pierce level 3. It's just a Rust Duramboros, you know, you can bring some pin tuner or purchase them. Can't type properly on this keyboard anymore. And I do mean bought instead of brought. I suppose the question can also be, has he brought it, but he should have a pin tuner supply in there if he's a Pierce bow gunner. Not enough. Well, there you go. I will bring Pierce shots if he needs them. Not pin tuner, I'm not just going to give him pin tuner. That stuff is actually pretty useful. Yeah, I agree, that would have been better beta, to make it so that the charge attack of the Sword and Shield let you jump up the monster, scale the monster and attack from above, with some sort of Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting to add some more verticality to the weapon. I mean, they did do a good job of that in 5th gen, giving the sword and shield more verticality. I think that was one way to really give that weapon a bit more effectiveness. Like, if it was their intention to make everything just ridiculously strong, which is precisely what their intention in 5th gen was, I suppose doing that with sword and shield was sensible, but anyway. Well, the small jump would not have dealt mounting damage anyway, because it's such a small jump. I mean, you're not jumping high enough to get mounting damage off. Like, anyone who would be expecting that is really missing the point. Oh, that's some good poison. Yeah. I like this lance. The good thing about this lance is that it has good poison, but it's also... Well, I did not intend to do that. That was me trying to bring up the menu. Anyway, it has good damage on it, good affinity, but it also has perfectly respectable poison courtesy of my awakened skill, so... Yeah, I like this lance. I should do a live stream where I only use status weapons. And for the most part, not including slime. That was great that I basically missed my opportunity to deal damage entirely. Of course, it was extremely annoying. But I'll have to live with that. Who wants to chase you across the whole fucking map like this? I don't. I have very little desire to do that. Here we go again. I'm not a ranged player right now. I actually have to chase you to keep up with you. That's very annoying. And give me some poison. I can barely see what you're fucking doing, mate. God. Oh, he's mining it. Well, good for him. Nothing wrong with mining it. That's the best way to get Durambolite, honestly. If you consistently... excuse me, if you consistently mine the tail, you will have a much better chance of getting Durambolite. And also Sacrams. I don't know if there is a G rank equivalent to Sacram, but if there is, it would be easy to get it from that as well. Honestly, in Portable Third, I recall, and I do mention Portable Third because it is the game that preceded this one, and it was the game where Duramboros first appeared. Sacrams were very annoying to get in that game. They were a rarity 7 drop that were actually pretty frustrating to pick up. But one of the reasons why people struggled so much was because people weren't mining the tail. I might carve the tail, sure. Or the tail casing. But yeah, it was because not enough people were mining the tail that they were having such great difficulty with Sacrams. And that was the rare drop of that monster in that game. He didn't have Durambolite or anything. That was introduced in the G rank version of the Duramboros monsters in this game. Don't have much stamina, honestly. Only barely had enough to get that off. Poisoned again. Which definitely helps. I don't know if he has much of any poison resistance. I think he is fairly susceptible to it, so... I think he's a brute wyvern, right? Most brute wyverns are weak to poison. I was being a bit greedy though. I'm actually using this guy's helmet right now. I would love to interrupt him, you know. I don't think you really can. I think you can deal a certain amount of damage and then he falls over, but... as far as interrupting him when he begins the attack, no. Not as far as I'm aware. Although it would be very entertaining to see, and very satisfying to achieve that. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Unfortunately, Chaos Guard would have missed out on his card, or his mine there. Because my attacking of the tail caused him to flinch before he could get the item. Ammo? Well, he's about to die. This is why it's pretty unnecessary for me to be giving you ammo, but... did he just take it immediately? That was pretty fast. Anyway, it could very well be that he was pinging before and I didn't notice, in which case I apologize, but... anyway. You should be dead. What's going on? Oh yeah, that's right. You're a Durambro, so you have lots of health. Well played, overall. Totally unnecessary for us to be bringing Pierce for that guy, but... anyway, yes, I did carve a Sacrum, but it's not rare, because this is G-Rank. Marbled hump. There's the Sacrum there. That was your rare in Portable Third. Very annoying to get if you really needed it, but... well, again, not as annoying as long as you had the right strategy. Eat this. Yummy. I'm force-feeding my aggression to this Durambros. I'll top up my glass, hey? The gift that keeps on giving. Still got a little bit in there. I actually didn't check its eyes. If it had fully white eyes, then I would agree that is off-putting. Alright. I am putting a number of things in my inventory that I really shouldn't be. Hopefully all is well. I would almost guarantee that I do have some stuff in my inventory. I think, for example, I didn't sell that. Oh no, I did end up selling that Pink Rathian shard, fortunately. But yeah, there's probably some stuff in my inventory that's not supposed to be in there. Ugh. Stuff that should be sold. Cheers. The Desert Gourmand. I won't be using only status weapons, by the way. I said that I could do that one time, or on some occasion in the future, but I don't think I'll be doing it today. I'll bring a hunting horn this time. Not the Apocalypso. That would be inappropriate. I will bring the Frigiguiro. Good enough. I'm bringing it to try and make this more enjoyable because I have been fighting a lot of Nibblesnarf lately. I don't dislike Nibblesnarf, but I don't necessarily want to fight him all the time. But it's one of his key quests, presumably. So I'm happy to do it for him. I got a voucher. That's something that I will never complain about receiving. The more vouchers and gourmet vouchers I get, the better. They're nice to have. I use them sparingly, but every now and again I will flip a switch where I get a little bit liberal in my usage of vouchers and gourmet vouchers. It usually happens when I realize that I have quite a few to spare. I wouldn't say I've got a huge number of them at the moment, but yeah, they are nice. Might try to take a nice photo of my beers here, or my beer singular. Seeing as though I've got it here. I'll put it on my Discord. Come on. Take the picky. Yeah, that's nice. I'll try to show it to you, but yeah. There they are, sitting there, happily. Beautiful beer. That should be pretty much an empty bottle now. Very good. I enjoyed you very much. And I shall continue to enjoy you. Because it's not over yet. Not just yet. Alrighty. Let me refamiliarize myself. Hold on, I really should have consumed a hot drink before I did all that. I've been losing stamina the whole time. Need to refamiliarize myself with the songs that I can play here. Attack up large and hearing protection. Needless to say, I'm not going to be playing hearing protection. Cold cancel. I don't think this hunt is going to be going on for long enough to really make that helpful or necessary, but anyway. Alright, what do we got? Okay. I'll prioritize that now because... Whoops, I'm playing the wrong sequence there. The staff is so small. Oh, I got it wrong. Sorry, I thought red appeared twice. And now I'm playing it wrong again. I really do need to do better. This is pathetic. Fucking hell. No, it's not sub-only, I'm... The notion of a sub-only Discord is quite ridiculous for a channel such as mine. I will send an invite. I don't just put the invite up wherever because I don't want random people joining it who don't really watch me. But people who want to be there are welcome to come. I will happily give them invites if they would like to be there. So, I will send you one when this monster leaves this area. Bread Jesus. Yeah, notifications probably are not so well. Not so well delivered to my audience. If they, I mean, this is the thing. Twitch and YouTube don't need to worry about their terrible notification systems when creators just take it into their own hands anyway, right? But it's always been that way. It's not like they've gotten lazy with it recently because of that. It's just now they have no incentive to fix how terrible the notifications are. Because people circumvent the terrible systems of Twitch and YouTube when it comes to notifications. But yes, I always notify my audience when I'm going live. Very occasionally I will forget, very occasionally. But I'll usually while live send a notification, just for good measure. If I do forget. Uh-oh. Come on. At this stage, I do actually need to play the attack song again. Hopefully it's not interrupted. It could very well be interrupted. Oh my god, that was so close. It could have been interrupted, but it was not. And I'm very glad. I will work towards KO damage. Or, well, I will build KO damage and work towards a successful knockout. There you go. It's an interesting monster in that there are 2 hit zones that deal KO damage. It's a strange thought, isn't it? The idea that there could be 2 separate hit zones that deal KO damage. You've got the head and the tip of the nose. Separate damage, but both deal KO damage. You know what it is? Duramboros would be another example. The horns and the face are 2 separate hit zones damage-wise, but they both allow for KO damage. It's not something that you really think about, is it? The idea that there could be more than one hit zone on a monster that deal KO damage. I mean, of course, we imagine that the head is a hit zone, but technically speaking, you can have more than one hit zone on a head. Nicely done. I'm sure I contributed in some way. I'll get a Discord notification on the go. Invitation. Not notification, but invitation. If you've noticed, I can't fucking talk today. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I wake up very articulate, and then other days I just can't formulate a fucking sentence. Don't know why. We have good and bad days, that's how we all are. Whoops, I'm being real dumb. Using the wrong keyboard to do this. I need this keyboard here. and possibly Beta Star, but I don't think that the amount of KO damage would differ between the horns in the face. The links that I send are valid for 24 hours, just so that you know. Oh dear. Snowball fight. A fire weapon once again. I don't have an issue with Jade Baroth as a monster, but the reality is that the standard one already has a fire weakness. Why do we have Crimson Kurapeka, who's also weak to ice, Jade Baroth, who's also weak to fire, Green Nagakuga, who's also weak to thunder? Like, what's going on? Why are subspecies ending up with the same elemental weaknesses? It's ridiculous. Like, whose idea was this? I get it, maybe you just really wanted to have an ice Baroth and it wouldn't make sense for him to be primarily weak to any other element, but come on, just don't do an ice one then. We've already got a fire weak monster here, we don't need this. What's the alternative? I don't know. Lava Baroth? What's wrong with that? A Lava Baroth, wouldn't that be interesting? But no, instead we get Ice Baroth and we bring the same fucking equipment to the fire. It's annoying. Oh well. It's a bit late to be complaining about that now, isn't it? I'll bring a hammer, maybe? Why would I be doing this? For one reason or another, I'm bringing a hammer. I suppose because I recognize that I do not often use a hammer. And so I feel like I'm neglecting the weapon type. Oh, whoops. My boom stand is not really behaving itself. I'm just giving you your standard roles on the server. If you would like a color for your name, just send a hex code in the chat and I'll give you your own role with a color that matches that hex code. I will happily input that hex code for you to use as your color, except that if it happens to be one of those really awkward ones that clashes terribly with Discord Dark theme, then I will lighten it just enough for it to not clash. What is the bowgun that you're using today? Look at that. Eclair White Bolt. It does look very cool, but I certainly wouldn't be using it in a game where the Abyssal Lagiacruz light bowgun exists. Obviously that's all he was able to make this time around, but at the very least it looks very cool. I can't deny that. Alrighty. Jade Baroth with a hammer I don't think is going to be especially fun. I'll do what I can to make it an effective venture, but I don't have high expectations, I have to tell you. There'll be a lot of chasing around going on. I'm going to be chasing that head constantly. When you're in the right position, it's easy to hit the head, but It's getting into position that can be annoying when you've got a monster that's constantly moving around like this. See, I was hoping for a turnaround sooner than that. God's sake. I'm already annoyed. I ran out of stamina so I couldn't get close enough. I ran out of stamina because of that fucking ice blight. I don't have nullberries, frustratingly, so I need to remember to bring them. Like, I do have them in my box, I just keep forgetting to bring them, okay? It's not that I don't have them. I'm just an idiot. That's all. Ugh. I hate you. Why did I bring a hammer for this? I need someone to paralyze it or put it in a trap or something. I'll drop one if I need to. Land compensation did deal the damage there, by the way. I did anticipate the reposition there, but it was still out of range, annoyingly. I hate you. Oh, someone is shooting paralysis. God. Ask and you shall receive. You are fucking insufferable. Fuck you. What is going on with me? I think I'm playing especially badly. As well, but seriously. I actually don't know how to approach this guy with a... Oh, here we go. This is very good. So we've got a KO, and we do know that there is a paralysis coming up as well. So this is very reassuring. Out of range for that golf swing, sadly. Your fucking head is too high when you roar. Missed another golf swing because I suck. I'm actually terrible. If I could put my head through a wall, I think that would honestly be... What's the word? It would make me feel a whole lot better about myself. It would be therapeutic. Missed the fucking head, of course, because I suck at hammering this monster. Can barely do it. Basically can't do it, in fact. I don't know what possessed me to do this. And of course, if I can't do it properly, then it means that I'm not contributing very well to the hunt. I'm glad you didn't fucking catch me for once. Please hit it. Fucking hell. I beg of you. I'm gonna put him in a fucking trap. Fuck you. I've never been so annoyed by a monster before. I'm sure I have been, but God, it's annoying right now. This was my mistake. I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it, yet I did it anyway. Come on, get in there. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? You are testing my patience to the extreme. You are shooting nothing, mate. Please, get in it. Thank you, what the fuck? How long does it fucking take? Two golf swings at least, and a broken head. I'll carve it because if I don't carve it now, I'll forget. Jade Baroth Crown, I don't think you get that very often. Here we go. Don't you dare, you fuck! Oh, it was Ibpimin, okay. I thought it was Kendrick, I was about to absolutely lose my fucking shit. Because all Kendrick has ever done is flinch me. If it's Ib Min, fine, because he doesn't have a track record of it, but fucking Kendrick, that's all he's ever done with me. I understand, you know, it was obvious that that was going to happen, and he can't be entirely blamed for it, but when I'm charging my hammer, yes, being flinched by fucking shots is extremely annoying. Ugh. Generally speaking, a fucking annoying hunt. Yes, bread users. They're coming out of me. My hunter just casually stops walking so as to avoid being hit. Yeah, I mean, bad idea. Hammering a Baroth, annoying. The reason why is because the monster is constantly running around, so you're constantly having to chase the head. I'm sure there's an effective way to do it. It would be a balance between chasing the head and not chasing it. But I don't have experience hunting this monster with a hammer, so the result is awkward and frustrating and entirely unenjoyable. So, there, I used a hammer. Are you happy? Fuck. This guy's shooting rapid fire shots, I believe, out of an Ivory Lagier-Cruce light bowgun. I didn't even realize that this thing rapid fired fire shots. That's pretty weird. Oh dear. I feel like I haven't ranked up in ages. Maybe I just haven't been noticing it. Maybe it has been happening. Destroyer +4, fast charge +1 2-slot. That's actually good for this game, so I'll take that. Never underestimate the effectiveness of slotted charms. That was actually a pretty good one. Not bad at all. Presumably you'd be able to get +7 destroyer out of that with an additional skill point of fast charge, or you could approach it differently. But, yeah. Hold on, I need to store the frozen glob as well. And you know what I need to do? Because if I don't do it now, I will fucking forget. I need null berries. Null berries. Look how many I have. It is inexcusable for me to have failed on so many occasions to restock on null berries in my inventory. Just fucking ridiculous. The creeping venom. Do I have a good slime lance? Slime lance. What would that be, actually? In the awakened form. I'm sure I'll find out. Oh, that's right, it's you. Well, that's too obvious. I don't want to do that after all. I've changed my mind. I enjoy Rising Tempest with slime. It's amazing. It hits like a fucking truck. It's incredibly effective, but I'm just not really in the mood to use that weapon right now. I'll use a switch axe because I have not been doing that very often. Doomlink using a switch axe, shock horror. But it's true, I haven't been using it. We will use the Crimsidian. Of course, beautiful, absolutely beautiful purple sharpness. This would be one of the weapon designs that I don't enjoy as much when it comes to the switch axes, or excuse me, what am I talking about? When it comes to the Morales weapons, I can't even remember what I was fucking talking about when I began the sentence, apparently. Speaking of switch axes though, there is that ice switch axe, the Dragon's Roar, that I have been forgetting to use against ice weak monsters. Next time I will definitely... Like, next time I see an Ice Weak monster, you better believe I'll be pulling out the Dragon's Roar. I'd forgotten that I'd made that. It's a good one. Lovely weapon design. I have Exchanger. It's going to be used for Giganox, which isn't very exciting, but fine. Very well. I'll tell you what, when you drink a beer like this, makes you sleepy. But it's a nice feeling, you know. Very relaxing. Alright. Creeping Venom, Giganox. This is the direction we want to go in. Good day. That's right. You're a Giganox. So Rocksteady is not going to be enough to block your roar, sadly. I had to do a whole lot of rolling to keep up with you there, and I'm going to have to do some more of it. In fact, no, I would rather not. When I use this armor set, I do expect that I'll be able to resist the roar, but Giganox is very noisy. Very noisy. It must be said, though, that I do much prefer this monster to Kezu, and most people should say the same. If it doesn't happen to be your opinion, then I wouldn't expect you to be disingenuous and say that it's your favourite between the two, but, well, thank you. Fucking cluster shot. I get that you're using that light bowgun. It's nice to be able to rapid fire cluster shots, but it happens to be very unseemly sort of behaviour when you're hunting with a team that's trying to get in close and attack the monster. Fuck me. I feel like my DPS has just been truly terrible. I'm having to deal with arc shots, cluster shots, and rapid fire, regular, whatever they are. Fucking hell. It seems rapid fire fire shots, which really are fine, usually they wouldn't flinch me too much, but you know, it's basically me dealing with stuff that's actually a little bit more disruptive than any attack that this monster could ever dish out. And it's driving me nuts. I actually can't even get in close to this guy. I just hope for your sake, and for mine, that you're dealing decent damage with those cluster shots. Off I go again. That time it actually helped. I was able to keep close to the monster. See, if you could do that intentionally, turn that into some kind of legitimate strategy, that would be very good for speedrunning, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it now? I don't know what you're doing, but I don't like it. Get off the ceiling. Ow. Not like that. Not in a way that hurts me. Just politely step off the ceiling if you would. Well, I was ready to dive, but he flinched anyway. Honestly. Between this monster jumping all over the ceiling and me getting hit away from the monster every time I go close to it, I really have not been able to contribute very much to this hunt. And it's really frustrating. I feel like my presence here is just pointless. Got an elemental burst off on the Giganox there. Shit. Well, I may have had a chance to get out of there, but I did get flinched, which only made it harder. I would have been better off continuing to mindlessly attack the monster in the hope that it would flinch. Well, quite frankly, that was not as effective as it all looked, was it? Because that was a single Giganox, team of 4, and we didn't sub-5 it, so... Quite frankly, if we had all just jumped in there with Blade Master weapons, the thing would have just been beaten down. And I would have been able to feel like I was actually contributing, so... Yeah, I don't think that was worthwhile at all. Yeah, the switch axe is nice in axe mode. I don't like it when it's sheathed or anything. Yeah, it looks fine, I guess. Sheathed looks pretty bad. I don't like the sheathed look. Not my thing. Yeah, the Giganox weapons are very nice. I really like the... Not so much the Blood Tabar, but the Giganox Saber. That looks pretty cool. I don't really like the coffin hunting horn. Functionally it's good, but the design doesn't really interest me that much. What have we got now? Thunder on the Tundra. Okay. I'll probably go raw this time. As for what would be fun, raw-wise, not too sure. I'll check weapons instead. That's the switch axe that I need to use when it is next sensible for me to do so. You know, when I'm going up against a monster that's actually weak to that. You know what I'll do? I will bring my Black Diablo's Lance and shit on these assholes. This lance really is disgustingly strong. Yeah, the coffin hunting horn, what do you mean? Am I being unreasonably dismissive by calling it the coffin hunting horn? I don't know what it's called. I will ensure to get Exchanger twice in a row, if I can. Very good. 10,142 HRP until my next rank up. Lovely. This is why it takes a while, guys. I swear it caps out at like 6,000 in I think Generations and Generations Ultimate. Ew. Hello, the Radishen. No, I would not like to grind 4-point formation because I have self-respect. But anyway. No, my objective is not to reach max hunter rank. My hope is to accumulate hunter rank in a proportional way to the amount of time that I actually spend in the game. I feel like by the time I'm 500 and above, it really does take a long time to actually go from one rank to the next. But it's fine, because it just means that it's all the more significant when you get to 600, then 700, then 800. It's actually an achievement, whereas in the later 4th gen games, no, not really. Well, it's not just that it's boring, it's that it's pointless. I don't want hunter rank points so badly. I don't want to rank up so badly that I'm just going to grind the same quest over and over again. Shockingly, people still do it. I don't know why. I probably did it maybe 5 times, and yeah, it's not really worth it. I did the optimized or the optimal setup. Or one of. The optimal setup that we had was 2 Brachydio steel blades and 2 normal heavy bow guns. And there was some kind of lockdown strategy being used. Can't really remember it specifically, but it was effective. It was very effective. But that was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago. At least when I last did it. Ew. You voluntarily just stay at HR8. Why would you do that? Don't you want to at least have some kind of representation of the amount of time that you've played in the game? If you're HR8, it's just... well, whatever. I won't judge. I don't understand it at all, but I won't judge you. I'm already at white sharpness, but I will actually get ready to sharpen up once I drop down to blue, which may happen quite soon. Can you stop with that? Good. Oh, never mind. Unfortunately, that knockdown really did not last. Thank you for the longsword attack, Ibpamin. The singularly ridiculous name of Ibpamin is obviously very awkward to pronounce, but I do so anyway, out of respect for him. I've spoken with him in person. Not in person. Doomlink, you need to be careful with the terms that you use. You have not spoken with him in person, but you have spoken with this person verbally. That is what you have done. And yeah, he's a nice enough guy. If you want to call that an exclusive club, then sure. I have seen people do it. It's usually people doing their side characters or alt characters, whatever you would call it. But yeah, it's not very interesting to me. You don't even have guild points to go based on, so I don't really know why you'd be doing it. Well, I suppose HRP is still written there, isn't it? Like total HRP, so you've got an idea, but seriously. thank you for turning around and fucking up my positioning. Okay, I'll go for the face, even though I'm likely to be flinched by someone in so doing. Surprisingly, I'm not being flinched by anyone. Colour me utterly shocked. I don't really care if I hit any of you, because I've been dealing with being hit by all of you for all of the time we've spent hunting together, so I quite frankly wouldn't mind lance charging one or two of you on one or two occasions. It wouldn't break my heart to see it. God, I feel sorry for this fucking barrier. This has been a bigger beatdown. I don't care, Pamin, sorry. Nothing personal. I can't believe he didn't actually... It's like he's got an immunity to my lance charging, which is fine. I mean, all the better, really. I'd rather not negatively impact the overall DPS of the team by hitting him away, but that was a bigger fucking beatdown than the Giganox hunt. The Giganox put up much more of a fight than that. I really shouldn't be carving this monster. I've got plenty of stuff. I keep getting the high rank drops, which is good, honestly. Because I would actually have space to store those. Is this had better fucking be... No, that couldn't be a high rank quest. No, it's not. Can you believe it? I carved the body of the Barrioth twice, and the tail, obviously, once, and ended up with 3 high rank drops. I mean, what is this? Or rather... Reddit is Cheese Guard for some reason. Chaos Guard is going to be posting his double Brachydios urgent next time. So the weakness will be water. A good elemental weakness, it gives me some options. I'll bring a lance again. I'll bring the Rust Duramboros lance. Awaken water. It's a good choice. I like Cheese Guard. Well, if you look at that name, you glance at it briefly from a distance, it looks like Cheese Guard, so... What can I say? Sticky situation. I get it, because of slime. Aren't we funny? They definitely upped their game a little bit, and probably not in the right way, by the time Generations and Generations Ultimate was coming out. Some of the quest names were just ridiculous. And the jokes, it was turning into, it was like encroaching into dad joke territory, just like, oh, stop. Because it's not funny. I mean, there's an element of cleverness to it, but it's just not funny. So you're just sitting there going, okay, great, nice joke. So yeah, not my thing. Anyway, I said that I would use Awaken Water Lance. Tremblor Granboros. Look at this fucking lance. Is this not an exciting weapon design? It's a giant halberd that I'm going to be thrusting into the monsters. Radishan, you and I are two very different people. The fact that you, first and foremost, voluntarily avoid breaking your HR cap and instead remain at Hunt Rank 8, and that you, after having crafted everything that you wanted to craft, stopped saving the game, shows that you and I value Monster Hunter in ways that almost could not be more diametrically opposed. I mean, that's just, like, we live in different fucking universes, okay? Because the time, the physical time that you are spending in the game should be demonstrated in the game somehow. It needs to be shown, it needs to be reflected in some fashion. Otherwise, you are literally wasting time playing it. You're literally wasting time. So, if you're not even saving the game, like, what are you doing? If you're playing for your own enjoyment, okay, but there needs to be an element of investment there. Otherwise, you may as well be pissing your time down the drain. Because you've got nothing to show for it. You can't say, okay, well, I've invested X amount of time into this game, look at what I've got to show for it. You don't have that because for some reason that doesn't mean anything to you. Now, I don't mean to sit here and, you know, berate you for it, but it's just so impossible for me to make sense of just a flagrant disregard for one's own time that you would be willing to just not save the game and not break your HR. I can understand the not breaking your HR thing, fine, but not saving the game, that shit is just weird and utterly nonsensical. So that would be my reaction to your inability to value your own time. Anyway, I'm surprised you don't, you know, just play 32 pickup every day and just do that. Just throw like a deck of playing cards in the air and then pick them all up and shuffle and then do it again. You'd be better off doing that, almost. Anyway. I have almost no paintballs. Jeez. I have an acute paintball shortage at the moment. Hello. Do you want to do something so that I can react to you? If you're just standing there, as if you're trying to make a decision as to what to do, it leaves me feeling a little uncertain. I'd better roll. Or shield that, or not. Can't keep up with what's going on, really. The back of my neck is itchy and my jacket is in the way. And my hair and my everything else. Chaos Guard is dropping a pitfall trap at quite honestly a weird time, but fine. Can someone detonate that? Excuse me? Oh. I did not actually intend to end up near the head, it's just that the movement of the fist pushed me towards it. This weapon is probably better than Esmeralda's Tide, by the way. I'm going to check the stats now. Well, I probably shouldn't. Better shield this crap. Hold on. Yep, notably better than Esmeralda's Tide. Better sharpness, and just a little more balanced in general. Esmeralda's Tide got a bit of a facelift in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. The sharpness was better, and I think the stats were just technically more balanced in general. Probably just because it had better sharpness. But in this game, it's a bit lacking. Well, ancient potions are fine, but anyway. Using an ancient potion instead of a mega potion is dumb because it also increases your stamina. An ancient potion is not an alternative to a mega potion. You know? Couldn't really think of an example that would illustrate how illogical that is, but that's alright, I'll focus on the hunt now. I do enjoy this lance though. You always get flinched at the right time, but I'm always expecting you to not be flinched, so I keep on getting caught with my pants down, you know? I could have just gone in there and dealt damage mindlessly, but instead, here I was trying to play the game properly. I'm being flinched by Mr. Greatsword Extraordinaire over here. We've already got a limping Bracky. This is a good run for sure. It's almost a full fucking slime team. I believe that slime deals perfectly fine damage to Brachydios in this game. It wasn't until 4th gen that Capcom realized, oh wait, hold on, this monster should have some resistance to this, seeing as though he fucking covers himself in it. So, yeah. Please don't flinch me at this critical moment. You're quite welcome to take the hit yourself, but I don't want to be taking a hit on account of your own aggressive style of play. I'm not going to carve you. Sorry. As much as I'd like to, technically. If you are correct in saying that you haven't used a Mega Potion in 8 years, then good for you, really. If you heal so infrequently that you don't use potions and Mega Potions, but instead use Ancient Potions and nothing else, then I suppose that's a good thing. Kendrick is going somewhere. I don't think even he knows where the fuck he's going. This is why you bring Psycho Serums. This is why they exist. Now I need to remember, I've been able to remind myself to... Did you see how that one fucking Bullfango adjusted himself to hit me there? He did a fucking 180 degree turn, this piece of shit. I hate you motherfuckers. Like, who designed you? Both of you are here so that you may both die by my hand. Quickly and effectively. Fuck the pair of you. Now anyway, I need to remember to bring, or rather add, restock, whatever word I'd like to use, paintballs. I will try to do it after this hunt. If I don't have paintballs, I shall craft them. I'm sure I can. It's something like sap plant and paintberry. So I'll do that. I should have both of those things, and if I don't, I should be able to purchase them. And if I can't purchase them now, I certainly will at some point soon. I have little doubt. That's a nice counter to what I just did. Just punch me in the fucking face. No, don't hit me while I'm slimed, please. Don't do that. I know it might be tempting, but I really don't want that. Well, it doesn't make more sense. You have to combine for them, don't you? It's not better to bring a life powder than bring a Mega Potion. You can just carry 10 Mega Potions and you won't need that many anyway, but you can only carry 3 life powders at one time, so you end up fucking combining the damn things. Your reason for bringing a life powder presumably is that you can bring 23 of them, but you're not going to be using 23 of them. And if you are, then that's a separate issue. But presumably you're only using like 6 per quest, if even, which means that you would be better served by using Mega Potions. I don't want to interrupt your strategy with logic, but there's a distinct lack of it in your strategy. I know of people who use life powders instead of other healing items because they don't heal very often, but to offer the fact that you can bring 23 life powders as some sort of reason for using them over Mega Potions, like literally to the exclusion of Mega Potions, is so fulsomely illogical that it hurts to even read what you've just said. Anyway, Well, you wouldn't have to combine for them, would you? Anyway. Whatever, everyone is free to play the game as they would like, even if it makes less sense than they themselves realise, and even if it's literally harder, but they're willing to do it. Essentially making it harder for themselves, but whatever. Ow. Well, goodbye. That was an effective hunt. Very easy. Good team dynamic. Chaos Guard has thanked us twice. Go on, man, carve. Do it. HR7 Woot. Hold on. This person just typed Woot in the chat. I kid you not, this is the first time I have seen someone type Woot, either ironically or otherwise, in at least 10 years. It has to at least be 10 years. I'm willing to bet closer to 11 or 12 years since I last saw someone type Woot in the chat. So, you know what? 3 people being upswung, that's the sort of force that that word on its own would have in being mentioned. Woot. Wow. And I got a pallium, that is my 4th. You can tell that they do not drop in abundance, as I have a small number of them. Woot, I can't believe it. I'm not going to judge him, I'm not going to sit here and castigate him for his use of words, but what the fuck is that? I'm not, you know, I do not decry your use of ancient potions. I decry the fact that you, instead of using mega potions like a normal human being, bring combinations for 23 life powders and use them exclusively. That's just... that's nutty. That's stupid. It's not eccentric, it's just dumb. Like, that's the way I see that. Making ancient potions, fine. If you are willing to craft them, then use them frequently, as often as you'd like, but life powders instead of mega potions is, quite honestly, stupid. You're crafting more than you need to be. And on top of that, by the sounds of it, you'll be healing your teammates when they really don't need to be healed. Do you also heal yourself and your teammates using those life powders? If so, then your life powder expenditure is going up because you're healing yourself when you need to be healed and then also healing other people when they need to be healed, which are not necessarily going to occur at the same time. Like, sometimes you might need to be healed but they don't, and then they might need to be healed but you don't, but you're going to be still using that same fucking item. So you're doubling your expenditure effectively on something that you don't need to be using anyway. You could instead be using mega potions. I mean, it's very good of you to be so transparent about your bizarre choices, but fuck me, like... Well, don't mention the fact that you can bring 23 life powders as if that's the reason why you use them over mega potions. It seems that... oh no, Chaos Guard is not leaving, it just seems that the team has fallen apart. That's what I was doing. I am going to combine. I was so distracted by that topic of discussion. I mean, really. It's almost offensively inexplicable that a person could be using life powders instead of mega potions. Like, instead of. Again, just for the record, it's totally fine if you don't heal yourself very often. But again, this guy says that he often uses almost all 23 in his Alatrion hunts. So what's he doing? That's the question. What is this individual playing at? I don't have paint berries. Fuck. Oh well. I'll have to wait to buy them, I suppose. I don't know if there are any alternative rooms to this one, but I don't really want to abandon this guy now. What's he put on the board? Roadwork. Oh. He's just put a low-rank Uragan on the board, okay. Well, I suppose that is something that we can comfortably do with 2 people. Almost painfully comfortably, if that makes any sense. Well. Could use the Uber Death Snarfs. We'll do that. Has someone joined? Geordie. Don't I know this guy? Geordie. I've seen his name before. Take off the low rank quest before he leaves though. If he sees that there's a low rank quest. Is Geordie the cheater? I don't know. I have a vague recollection that he's a cheater. What's his hunter rank? Fuck. I'm trying to snoop on him. 943. Yeah, this is the cheater, I think. I can't, I actually can't do my Savage Devil Joe quest, so... What, should I post something? Fuck. I can't really post these because... Oh no, some of them have HR6 requirement. Certainly not all of them though. Oh fuck. Just keep posting what you need. Ugh. Well, I don't want to encourage him to keep doing his key quests because he's currently using a weapon that's high rank. He's still using, presumably... Oh no. Yeah, it is G rank Jaggy, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I think he should work on upgrading his weapon. Oh, excuse me. Can't fucking type. Oh my god. Like I said, I'm struggling to type on this particular keyboard at the moment. The Horned Wyvern has been placed on the board. But I do think upgrading his bow is a priority. I need 2 gems, he says. Well, I don't really... This is the part where I struggle to really make a decision. Do I continue doing this guy's key quests when he has a weapon that is quite honestly not appropriate for G rank hunts? Or do I grind a fucking monster with him so that he can upgrade his weapon? You know, I don't want to grind Brachydios. I've fucking hunted enough of them. Even, no matter how many I've hunted in this game, it doesn't matter. Because this is not the only game where I've hunted Brachydios. I've hunted so many. It's painful. Who even is Brachydios in this list? Here he is. Like, this is not okay. I don't want this in my life. In excess of 150 Brachydios killed. Why? Why should I have to continue hunting him? I don't want to grind him with this guy. So, spare me, please. Alright, we'll do Diablos and I will bring the Dragon's Raw Switch Axe. That is what we shall do. I did say that when we would next have a monster on the board that was weak to ice, I would bring this Switch Axe. And you can see why. Oh, fuck me in my ass. What are you saying it's fun? What does that mean? Radishan. What's fun? Grinding Brachydios? Because it's not. That's what I was trying to explain. Has he gone and posted the Horned Wyvern again? No, he hasn't. He has willfully ignored my request for us to stick to G-rank hunts. I'm sorry, Chaos Guard. I think I've helped you enough already anyway. I'm going to see if there's another room. If there isn't, then so be it, because... Oh no, 12 people playing. Holy shit, I've got options. No, I don't. I do not have options. Low rank and high rank. That's okay. I've had a good run. I've been recording for 2.5 hours or whatever. I thank you all for watching. I will bid you all farewell for now. And I'll see you when I'm next recording Monster Hunter or anything else that you'd like to watch. Bye bye for now.